ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपित्तजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुदं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजम्। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव शुभकार्येषु सर्वदा। या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा।
Lalita ji, you want to do the dhyana shlokas?
Yeah.
Priya ji, there's a lot of background noise in your while you were chanting. I don't know why, but something to do with your sound system, because it was a constant sound. Yeah, it's still there.
Mine, right?
Yes.
Yeah, basically what's happening is they are doing a geofiber network outside, so there is a drilling noise.
Okay.
So that's the reason for the sound. So I'll keep it on mute only today.
Sure, sure. Yes, Lalita ji, you want to do the dhyana shlokas?
Yeah. Sankalpa. Asya Shri Lalita Sahasranama Stotramala Mahamantrasya Vashinyadi Vagdevata Rishayah Anushtup Chandaha Shri Lalita Mahatripura Sundari Devata Aim Bijam Kling Sau Shaktihi Kling Kilakam Shri Lalita Mahatripura Sundari Prasad Siddhyarthe जपे विनियोगः ध्यानं सिन्दूरारुण विग्रहान् त्रिनयनां माणिक्यमौलिस्फुरत् तारानायक शेखरां स्मितमुखीं आपीनवक्षोरुहां पाणिभ्यां मलिपूर्णरत्नचषकं रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतीं सौम्यां रत्नघटस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् पराम् अम्बिकाम्. Anna, I'm sorry. I think I went back to the old tune.
That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I realized, but it's perfectly okay. She likes all tunes. Sangeeta Lolupa Manasa is one of her names. So
yeah. Arunam Karuna Tarangitakshim Drutapaşankuşapuşpa Banachapam Animadibhiravritam Mayukaihi Ahamityeva Vibhavaye Bhavanim Dhyayet Padmasanastam Vikasitavadanam Padmapatrayatakshim Hemamba Pitavastram Karakalitalasadhema Padmam Varangi Sarvalankara-yuktam Satatam-abhayadam Bhaktanam-ram Bhavani Shri Vidyam Shantamurtim Sakala-suranutam Sarva-sampat-pradatrim Sakunkuma-vilepanam Malika-chumbikasturikam Samandahasite kshanam Shacharachapapashankusham Ashesha Janamohinim Arunamalya Bhushambaram Japa Kusuma Bhasuram Japa Vidau Smaredambikam.
So we have completed up to shloka number 17. So we'll straight away jump to shloka number 18. And in the meanwhile, what I would also request everybody to do, those of you who are now live as well as those who are going to hear the recording, is that you do the voice recording of up to shloka number. Today we are going to do up to 23. So from shloka number 1 to 23, do a voice recording and send it, so that if there are any mistakes, I can correct. Right now, let us start from 18. So, Priyaji, if you are ready, 18. Priyaji, you are still on mute.
Yeah, sorry about the background noise.
And that's okay. It's not in your control. Go ahead.
Oh. Indra Gopa Parikshipta Smaratu Nabhajang Jankika.
Okay. Stunabha.
Stunabha. Okay. Jankika. Okay. Indra Gopa Parikshipta Smaradhunabha Jankika Buddha Gulpa Kurma Prushta Jayishnu Prapradanvita Nakadhidita Sanchanna Namajjanatamo Guna Padadvaya Prabhajala Parakrita Saroruha.
Okay. Ashwini ji, are you ready with the next one? I know I'm putting you on a spot.
No,
Chaliye.
I'll try.
20.
Sijjana Mani Manjira
Okay. Mani. Shinjana Mani Manjira Mani.
Sijjana Mani Manjira Mani
Correct. Mandita.
Mandita Shri Padmambuja Marali Manda Gamana Mahalavanya Shevadihi.
Okay, you'll have to practice the ana. Lavanya. So turn the tongue. Na. So, right? Na is with the teeth. Na. Isko hum log dantya. That whole line. Ta, tha, da, dha. The tongue, it touches the teeth. Right? Whereas in the line ta, tha, da, your tongue touches the top of your palate. So it says ta, tha. So that is called the murdhanyam. So that is why all that line itself is called the murdhanya line. Ta, tha, da, dha, ana. Right? So ana.
Yes.
Shinjana Mani Manjira Mandita Sri Padambuja Arali Mandagamana Mahalavanya Shevadhihi. Okay, the last mein, if there is a visarga, that visarga is pronounced. So,
okay.
Shevadhihi, not Shevadhiha. Shevadhihi. It takes the matra of the last letter. So, if it was ending with a yes, then we would say Shevadhaha. Right? I'm just using Shevadha. There is no word like Shevadha. I'm just using that as an example. So, Shevadhihi. And it's not dhi, it's a dhihi. But if it was dirghai, then dhihi. Right? Similarly. Okay, next line.
Sarvaruna. How to pronounce it? Sarvaruna. That S is there.
That means extend. That is because there is a sandhi over there. Sarva Aruna Anavadyangi. Now, Anavadyangi, since they have joined together, so there is a joining. So that is a sandhi. So it goes Sarvaruna Anavadyangi. There is a slight extension of that. Sarvaruna Anavadyangi.
Sarvaruna Anavadyangi. Sarva Bharan Bhushita.
Bharana Bhushita. Bharana Bhushita.
Sarva Bharana Bhushita.
Yep.
Shiva Kameshwarankastha. Shiva Swadhin Vallabha.
Okay. Lalita ji, next two.
Yeah. Sumeru Madhya Shrunghastha Shrimannagaranaika Chintamani Gruhantastha Pancha Brahmasanasthita Mahapadmatavi Samstha Kadamba Vanavasini Sudha Sagara Madhyastha Kamakshi Kamadaini.
Okay, let's quickly now, let's move back to sloka number 18. Indragopa. Indragopa is a type of snail, blue colored snail. It has, so a snail, if you look at it, it has this curling mark, right? It has the spiral. So Indragopa Parikshipta. Parikshipta, painted on or affixed. Smara. Smara is the Kamadeva. So the Cupid. So Kamadeva, Smara, Tunabha, the quiver. You know, Kamadeva is famous, no? He has 5 arrows. He has a quiver full of flowers. The 5 arrows are the flowering trees, mango and jasmine and all that. They cause 5 types of desire in us. So the Indragopta Parikshipta Smaratunabha. So now the description is of the quiver. Now if you look at the quiver, the shape of the quiver, it is slightly narrow at the top, then expands and then goes and becomes narrow at the end. So it is like like this shape, right? That is the shape of her janga, of her legs. After the knees, see, if before that we did the knees, like Manikya Mukutakara Janudvaya Virajita, we did that. So Manikya Mukutakara, Manikya, rubies, Mukutakara, crowns, Janudvaya, the 2 knees are looking like that, Virajita. So knees we have already described. Now he is moving downward. Rather, she is moving downward. Vag Vadini Devis are moving downward, trying to describe her legs. Indragopa Parikshipta Smaratuna Abhajangika. Now we have finished the legs. What about the ankles? Gudha Gulfa, rounded ankles. The ankles are not all pointy. If you look at our ankles, you will find Priyaji, what is that bone called? That we have some projections, no, all over the place. When we go to our ankle, we have some bone that projects outward, right?
Malleolus.
Okay, so our bones are all projecting. Hers are not visible. They've beautifully rounded off. So therefore, when you look at her ankles also, it looks very beautiful. Then, what is the shape of a tortoise? If you look at a tortoise, it has a beautiful curve, right? It is a very symmetrical curve. So Kurma Prishtha, the back of a tortoise. Kurma Prishtha, Jayishnu, the expression of Prapadanvita. What are her feet? The arch of the feet, you know, the top arch of the feet, exactly like the very symmetrical, like the tortoise. Then, so Indragopa Parikshipta Smaratuna Bhajangika Guda Gulfa Kurma Prishta Jaishnu Prapadanvita Nakhadidhiti Sanchanna Namajjana Tamoguna Nakhadidhiti. So from the nails, Sanchanna, so from the nails, when people bow down to them because of the rays, Sanchanna, Namajjana, those who bow down, their Tamaguna, Sanchanna, removal, okay, from the rays of the nails. Nakhadidhiti is the glowing of the nails. Her nails are glowing, not with nail polish. So Nakhadidhiti Sanchanna, Sanchanna removal. What is she removing? Those who bow down at her feet, her tamoguna is removed. Tamas is ignorance. Tamas is darkness. So the moment you bow down at her feet, the nails remove the darkness. There is a very nice story here in Padma Purana. In Padma Purana, there is a story. Priyaji is very happy. Whenever she says a story, then immediately there's a big smile on her face. So she was born as son of Himavan. So we have already seen that in one of her names, right? In the Dhyana shlokas we have seen. So so now she is the daughter of Himavan, and she is going to and after she is born, all the rishis and everybody comes to bless the child. So Narad looks at the child and says, "Arey Bapre, her husband has not been born. Her husband has not been born. She has no marks on her body. So, and her feet were never going to cast a shadow. Now, both Himavan and Menaka, they sit down like this. What is Narad Muni saying now? What will happen? So then Narad Muni says, but why are you upset? I said all the good things. You know, but Narad, they say, Narada Kalaha Priyaha. Kalaha means he likes to cause confusion. So Narada Kalaha Priyaha. So he says some things which are all ulta pulta, right? So he says, her husband has not been born. Who has seen the birth date of Shiva? So her husband has not been born. She has no marks on her body because she is an unconditioned. She is Parabrahman. There is no conditioning in her. So there are no marks on her body. And when she is standing, the devas themselves will put their heads at her feet. And when they put their heads at her feet, the rays of shining rays from their gems in the crowns, they will dispel the shadows of her feet also. So her feet will never have shadows because all the time people are falling at her feet. So where will this go? There is the chance of being shadows. So nakadihiti sanchanna namajjanatamo guna padadvaya prabhajala parakrita saroruha. Same meaning. Padadvaya, the 2 feet. Prabhajala is the network of rays. Parakrita saroruha. Saro is sarovar. Sarovar, that which is born in a sarovar, saroruha. What is born in a sarovar? Lotuses, right? So it is the rays of the light from her feet, they put to shame, parakrita, they defeat the lotuses also. So next line, nakadidhiti sanchanna namajjanatamo guna padadvaya prabhajala parakrita saroruha. Next. Sinjana mani manjira mandita sri padambuja. Sinjana mani manjira is the Sinjana mani. These are the types of jewels with which her anklets are decorated. And then her feet are decorated with anklets which have the jewels on them. And when she walks, there is a sound. Sinjana mani. Sinjana is that noise. Mandita. So that noise, when she walks, there is a slight tinkling noise that comes from her ankles. So now we have described the full body. Now we are saying how she walks, right? So when she walks, there is this slight tinkle. But how does she walk? How does she walk? Marali mandagamana. Marali. Now there is another place I am reminded of Ramayana. So in Ramayana, the description of Ram and Sita walking is beautifully given. And then the explanation of that is even different. Anyway, I'm not describing the Ramayana. We are not doing a thing on Ramayana. But in that, he says that the walk of Ram is like the mast elephant. You know, he with regal, and there is a sway in his walk. So it's clearly showing his control over everything around him. And behind him, Sita walks like a swan. Marali. So Sita being an expression of Devi herself, her walk is Marali Mandagamana. She walks slowly. She has no hurry. Time is under her control. Mandagamana. Why should she hurry about anything? For her, there is no time. So therefore, if she has to walk, she will just walk as very casually, very leisurely. So Marali Mandagamana. Mahalavanya Shevadhi. Lavanya, beauty. Mahalavanya, great beauty. Shevadhi, decorated with or ornamented by. Marali Mandagamana, Mahalavanya Shevadhi. Sinjanamani Manjira, Mandita Sri Padambuja. Marali Mandagamana, Mahalavanya Shevadhi. Next. Sarvaruna Anavadyangi. Avadyangi, those who have defects in her body. Anavadyangi, without any defects. Sarvaruna, obviously, completely all. She has that pink glow. right? The Aruna glow, which we have seen from the Dhyana Shloka onwards. We have been continuously coming back to the pink and the red color, which is why, because of all so much redness, which is why generally when people worship Devi, they tend to wear red. So they tend to wear red, thinking since you are red and I am wearing red, so you will like me, so you will come here and now you will listen to me. So all conditioned thinking. We have to think of her as red. It is not about us wearing red. Although, I mean, it looks very nice when you have a whole bunch of people wearing various shades of red and sitting and praying to her. It looks very nice because that redness indicates her presence also. But it is not about, oh, I have to do Devi worship, so I have to wear red. And now I don't have a red sari or I don't have a red dhoti. So now I have to run to Matunga and buy red clothes, red kapda. दूसरा कहीं तो मिलेगा नहीं. So you have to go all over there. We should not get trapped with all these outer things. She is ever present in us. It is that presence that we have to see and feel. Redness is that color of life. Redness is that color of bursting life. And that is why when we experience her, we experience life in itself. Sarva Aruna Anavadyangi, Sarva Bharana Bhushita. So don't break it up, okay? It is Sarva Runa Navadyangi, Sarva Runa Navadyangi. Don't break up the sandhi. Sarva Runa Navadyangi, Sarva Bharana Bhushita, Sarva Bharana Bhushita. I don't think I need to explain. Abharanam is ornaments. Sarva Abharanam, all types of ornaments that you want to think of, she has been decorated with. Sarva Bharana Bhushita. We have seen, right? Already we have seen that she is wearing a choker, she is wearing a long chain, she is wearing a tiara, she has a crown, we have seen her earrings, we have seen her nose ring, we have seen her bangles, we have seen what she is wearing, keyur, we have seen the armband, we have seen her belt. So we have all been described with all these ornaments also. So Sarva Bharana Bhushita, Shiva Kameshwarangastha, Shiva Swadhina Vallabha, Shiva Kameshwarangastha. Now this word has multiple meanings. Kameshwaranga, Shiva Kameshwara. So here the word Kameshwara is not Rudra. It is not Kamadeva. Here, when the adding of the word Shiva Kameshwara, we are talking of Parabrahman. Shiva Kameshwara Angastha. She is part of Parabrahman. She is Parabrahman. Because part of Parabrahman, there is nothing called part of Parabrahman. To go back to the little bit of Advaitic thinking, there is a Rajju Sarpa Nyaya or Sarpa Rajju Nyaya, which means the Nyaya or the logic of seeing a snake in the rope. So let us take an example. You are going in the dark and you see it's a semi-dark situation. You see something which is coiled up and you put your leg on it. It is also soft. Immediately your leg moves. You know it is a snake. Now someone comes and shines a light on it. Oh, you see it is a torch. Now when the torch is put off, you can still see the snake. Your senses perceive the snake, but the fear here is gone forever. It cannot come back. You cannot never be afraid of that rope anymore. Whatever you look at it, whether it now looks like a king cobra, whether it looks like a black mamba, you are not going to be afraid of it. Why? Because jnana has removed ajnana. So this is the Rajju Sarpa Nyaya. So what Shankaracharya says here is that once knowledge arises, ignorance can never come back. You cannot make that same mistake of ignorance ever again. So therefore, when you experience Parabrahman, you become Parabrahman. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. Those who know Brahman become Brahman. You cannot, so the moment we say Shiva Kameshwarangastha, she is part of Shiva Kameshwara, that means she is Parabrahman. Right? At a physical level, it means that Kameshwara and Kameshwari are sitting next to each other. So, and when they sit together, the entire universe is over there. We know the story of Ganapati, right? He went right around them 3 times, and got the fruit, and all the associated stories of Kartikeya running away to Parani hills. Actually, he did not, incidentally, I'm sorry. I keep weaving some story or the other into this whole thing. So people say that the story is that he went off to the Palani hills, right? Actually, he didn't go there. If you go to Kailash Mansarovar, you will notice on one side is Kailash, on the opposite side of Manasarovar, there is another mountain called Gurla Mandata. Gurla Mandata range is a little higher than Kailash range. That is where he went and stayed. Palani is a reconstruction of that story by a Siddhar. So Palani is a reconstruction of that.
By whom?
Siddha.
Reconstruction of the
by a Siddha. 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 By one of the Siddha. He is called Bhoga Siddhar. So Bhoga Siddhar, being a devotee of Murugan, he created this replication of that story. So there is another mountain, small mountain near Parani. If you climb up to Parani hill, you can see that small mountain, which has a Shiva Parvati temple. So that is the representation of Kailasha. And this is the representation of Gurla Mandata. So in Gurla Mandata, therefore, Kartikeya is supposed to have gone there and stayed there and said that I won't come back home. You gave the fruit to my son, to my brother, and so on and so forth. So that story happened. Anyway, Shiva Kameshwarangastha. When Shiva and Kameshwara and Kameshwari are sitting together, they are both in terms of bhukti and mukti, in terms of enjoyment as well as in terms of liberation. They are the source, and therefore that is one meaning. The other is she is nothing but Parabrahman, Shiva. Shiva, the word Shiva comes from the root word Vash. So Vash means of that which is desired. So Shiva is that which gives everything that is desired. Right? That is one meaning. The other meaning of this is that Shiva also can be derived from other roots, from where it says that she is the one who can give moksha. So the meaning of the word name Shiva, one is she who is completely beneficial. Shiva, the word is beneficial. The word means auspicious. Shiva is auspiciousness. So when you have the third meaning is the root word, another root word for Shiva is Sham, from which also Shankara comes. Sham karoti iti Shivaha. Sham karoti means that which creates peace. What is peace? Peace can only exist when there is one. The moment there are two, the question of peace does not exist. Anything, anywhere, when there is two, then there is the lack of peace, right? See, when when Ashwini was unmarried, she was so peaceful. Now she is married to Chitrang, so much of trouble, every day fighting and all that is going on, right? So right, Ashwini? so so it is only when we are two that we have problems, no? In the Advaita, in the Upanishad, it very clearly says that when there is only one, there is no question of fear. When there is only one, there is no question of duality. And when there is no duality, there is complete peace. So peace and Ananda have been equated in the Upanishads. And then Swadhina Vallabha, she is not bound by anything. She is the unconditioned. No conditioning applies on her. So we are all conditioned beings, right? We have conditioning. What conditioning? Not only the mental conditioning that we have all experienced. We are conditioned because we are limited by our thinking of our identification with our body. We think of ourselves as the mind. We think of ourselves as the I. So what do you mean by I think of myself as the mind? Very simple. I am angry. I am angry. So you have defined yourself. I am angry. Actual meaning word should be I am feeling anger, which means I and anger are two different things. But in what do we normally say? We say I am angry, I am sad, I am happy. Identification with the mind, right? My opinion. The moment you say my opinion, I am. How do you say I am? Express your opinion. I am a communist. The moment you have said that, you have identified with the intellect. So our Vichara Shakti our manas, and our buddhi. These are the three limiting factors that we create around us and create this huge conditioning which causes us to be a conditioned soul. And that conditioning as Jiva, when we are able to overcome it, then we become Shiva. From Jiva to Shiva, that journey, she holds our hand. And how can she hold our hand? Because she is Swadhina. Only that person who is free. See, if I am in a swamp, I have sunk in a swamp, and you are also sunk in a swamp, and I try to catch hold of you to try and get out of it, either you will drown or I will drown. It has to be somebody who is on the shore who has to catch hold of us, throw a rope, and pull us out. She is in no swamp. She is free of all swamps. So she is therefore Swadhina Vallabha. Now, up to here was her description. Next, the question comes, where does she stay? Oh, so it's very nice. Let us find out where she stays. Sumeru Madhya Siringastha Sriman Nagaranayika. So, Sumeru Madhya Siringastha. Sumeru, the mountain Sumeru, is supposed to have 3 peaks. It is supposed to have 3 peaks. The topmost peak, and then there are 2 smaller peaks. The topmost peak, Sumeru Madhya, middle, Sringastha, right on the top of it. Sringa, peak, top, Sringastha. In that there is a Nagar, Sriman Nagar Nayika. She is the ruler of that Nagar. So there is a town or a city or a place to stay, Sriman Nagar. So Sriman Nagara, Srinagar, also used as Srinagar. So one of the places where she stays is called Srinagar. This means that people go to Srinagar in Kashmir and say, we have to find out Devi's temple. No, Devi's temple is not in Kashmir, Srinagar. It is in Sumeru. Sumeru is a mountain which exists here. It is here. The topmost chakra of our Kundalini system is called Sumeru. The Sahasrara chakra is also called Sumeru. That, the Nagar of that, the center of that, she is the ruler over there. Now, but I have always heard that Kundalini is Shakti and she is at the base, and then we have to climb and she has to go up to the top, and there she has to merge with Shiva, and then Purusha and Prakriti become one. Sorry, I get very confused when all this happens, because then I have to then ask, so you know the difference between Purusha and Prakriti, right? What is the difference? Just now we saw Shiva Kameshwarangastha. So it is only 2 manifestations of the same reality. So therefore, whether you call this thing that stays over here as Shiva, or whether you call it as Prakriti, or whether you call it as Kundalini Shakti, or whether you call it as Sri Lalita, it doesn't matter. Those are names we have given her. She has no names. Even the word Brahman comes from our definition of saying that which has expanded. Brihat karoti iti Brahman. Brihat. Briha word is to expand. The root word dhatu of in Sanskrit is to expand. So briha means that which expanded. So whatever we are seeing, Ishavasya idagam sarvam. In Isha Upanishad it says, Isha Vasyam idagam sarvam. Everything that you're seeing is Isha. So that, therefore, here we are saying, Sumeru Madhya Sringastha Sriman Nagaranayika. Then Chintamani Grihantastha. Now, the walls of her house are made out of Chintamani. Chintamani means it's a fabled jewel which gives you anything that you want. So there are 3 things in this in our mythology which are givers of all desires. The first one is called Kamadhenu, right? She is the cow which gives everything. The second is the Kalpa Vriksha. So Kalpa Vriksha, anything that you have Kalpana, it will become manifest over there. Kalpa Vriksha. And the third is called Chintamani. Chintamani is a jewel which if you are holding it in your hand or you are in its presence, it will manifest anything that you are desiring. Chintamani grihantastha. Now, Chintamani grihantastha means that when you have reached Sumeru and reached her house, you can see that the house is the storehouse of anything that you desire. Anything that you desire, because you see, when we have achieved that union, then the entire universe is us. So there is no question of having a separate desire. Oh, I want a rose. You just experience the rose immediately. You want to see, get the smell of jasmine. The smell of jasmine is you. So Chintamani. So her walls of her house are made out of Chintamani. Next one is a little difficult. Pancha Brahmasana Sthita. Her asana is made out of the 5 representations of Brahman. The 5 representations of Brahman are Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Ishana, and Indra. So these are the 5 representations. So basically it is said that Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and Ishana are the 4 pillars of her seat. And Indra is the spittoon. You know, when you eat pan, then we spit in that pot. So Indra is that spittoon. So what is the position of these devatas? These devatas are just nothing but seats for her. So what does this mean? This means that she is the complete manifestation of Brahman, while all these others are partial manifestation. Partial I is equal to whole. Yes, we understand, but yet they are partial. So Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, they are all Shiva, Indra, Ishana, they are all partial manifestations, and so therefore she sits on them, which means that these manifestations support her, which means that she is complete in herself. Sumeru Madhya Sringastha Sriman Nagaranayika Chintamani Grihantastha Pancha Brahmasana Sthita Mahapadmatavi Samstha. So Mahapadmatavi Samstha, she lives in and inside the wall, inside that wall of her house, there is a huge lotus, Mahapadma. In that lotus, she is sitting. She is sitting in the cross-legged posture, Mahapadmatavi Samstha. Now, we can look at it as a very physical description, or you can now look at it back to what I was talking about, saying that the Sriman Nagara is the Sahasrara Chakra, and she is in the center of that Sahasrara Chakra. So here it is clearly coming out now. Mahapadmatavi Samstha. And now we go outside that and we look at the surroundings, and it says Kadamba Vanavasini. So Kadamba tree is a type of tree on which we have looked at the Kadamba tree earlier. So it is a tree which is used by Krishna for the Jhula. So Kadamba Vanavasini. Now there are 2 Sriman Nagaras. Now so that is one description. So there are 2 interpretations to the word Srinagar. Some say that it is in the one. There are 2 because one is in Sumeru and the other is in the next line. What we are saying, Sudha Sagara Madhyastha. Now, but the way I was taught this is that Sudha Sagara Madhyastha is, Sudha Sagara means the ocean of nectar. Ocean of nectar. She is sitting in this entire city is in the middle of a ocean of nectar. That is the meaning that I have, right? It is not that there is one more ocean of nectar and there is a Srinagar also over there. Now, what is the meaning of this Sudha Sagara Madhyastha? When in Tantra, when you do the Khechari Mudra, Khechari Mudra is a mudra whereby the tongue is moved back, and after the Kundalini has reached the Sahasrara, there is a continuous flow of nectar down into your body system. Sri Lahiri Mahasaya Param Guru of Yogananda Paramahamsa, in his works, has very clearly described this process of how this happens, Kechari Mudra and this. So what we are experiencing here is that she, once you have achieved her, what you are going to get is nectar. Sudha Sagara Madhyastha, Kamakshi Kamadayini, Kamakshi. Now Kamakshi we know as one meaning is that there is a normal samas, Kama Akshi, the eyes, somebody whose eyes are desirable, right? The other meaning is she who gives all desires through her eyes. Just by her eyes, she gives all her desires. Kamakshi at Kanchi Peetha. Kamakoti Peetha, the Samstita Kamakshi is the name. Kamakshi in Kanchi is believed to be a complete representation of Lalita Devi. And what does she do? She gives Kamadayini. She gives you all your desires. Kamadayini. Kamadayini here is not only your desires, but another meaning of Kamadayini is also Mokshadayini. Aikyadayini, union. Aikyadayini. So that is the place where she stays and what she does. So Mahapadmatavi Samstha Kadamba Vanavasini Sudha Sagara Madhyastha Kamakshi Kamadayini. So that completes today's Lalita Sahasranamam. Now we will move to
Padmatavi.
Padmatavi Samstha.
Tavi is what?
The posture in which she is sitting. Padmata. Padmata Avisamstha. Padmata. So that so there is another meaning is that she is sitting in the lotus posture. So I am looking at it from double meaning because our poets have all these sentences of all double meaning. So see, she is in the middle of the lotus, sitting in the lotus posture. Right? Okay. Any other question? Otherwise, we will move to Mahishasura Mardini.
Just when you were explaining that Shinjana Mani Manjira, it just brought back some memories. When I first had read about this, and I liked it very much. You know, some shlokas, they just appeal more, whatever. So this shloka, I am very grateful to it because it cured me of a what can I say, a bad habit.
Okay.
In the sense, I tend to walk very fast, especially bell would ring, doorbell would ring, I would run. Those days we didn't have mobile, so everything would be landline, no cordless also, and the phone rings, rush, you know, and my feet would just move fast, and every time my mother-in-law or my mother would tell, "Arey Papa, why are you running? Stop running. No, everybody can wait for a minute. Why do you want to go fast?" But I just couldn't stop. My feet would just run. And twice I fell down also in the house only. And then I was trying my best to walk slow. I couldn't. And when I read this shloka, I just thought, that picture came that I'm following her. Every time I walk now, I feel she's in front, I'm following her. How can I race her? I can't race her. I just can't race. So even if my feet want to go, now my heart doesn't allow. So my feet go slow. And now I've got into the habit. You know, this was quite some time back. So now I walk slow.
Mandagamana. So you see, there is a very interesting thing here. Marali Mandagamana, Marali, the swan, the female swan, when it is walking on land also, it walks slowly. But when it is in the water, also it swims slowly. It never rushes.
Glides.
It is not
so
like a,
beautifully
yeah,
glides.
it is not like a cormorant which will go, it will do that. It will go slowly. It will very well.
Yeah, so
that
gracefully.
is gracefully, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let us look at Mahishasuramardini, second shloka we were to do. I suppose all of you have already learned it. So if you can, somebody will please volunteer, recite it, please. Second shloka. Suravara. चलिए somebody, anybody. चलिए मीना जी बोलिए. नहीं, आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा है. आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा. पीछे हॉर्न का आवाज आ रहा है, वो तो आ रहा नहीं, वो दूसरा किसी का होगा.
अभी आया?
हाँ अभी आया. चलिए, वेरी गुड.
ओके. सुरवर वर्षिणी दुर्धर धर्षिणी दुर्मुख मर्षिणी हर्षरते त्रिभुवन पोषिणी शंकर तोषिणी किल्बिष मोषिणी घोषरते धनुज निरोषिणी दितिसुत रोषिणी दुर्मद शोषिणी दुर्मद शोषिणी सिंधुसुते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्य कपर जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्य कपर्दिनि शैलसुते. शैलसुते.
Very good. Suravara Varshini. Suravara is the Sura is Deva. Suravara, best of the Devas. So possibly the indication is to Indra. So Suravara Varshini. Varshini is to shower. So the meaning is Suravara Varshini is the two meanings. Sura, Vara means again boons. So Suravara means Indra, or the other meaning is Suravara means to give boons to the Suras, to the Devas. Suravara Varshini. She gives showers the boons to the Devas. Is she very partial? Yes, she is very, very partial. She is partial to goodness. So anything that represents goodness, she will always be partial to that. Suravara Varshini. Durdhara Dharshini. Durdhara is the name of a demon, of a Danava. And his literally means, Dhara means to hold. Durdhara cannot be held. Durdhara Dharshini. So she who held or who captured, the person who cannot be Durdhara, he cannot be captured, Dharshini. So Durdhara Dharshanam, Dharshanam to hold, to overpower. So Durdhara Dharshini. Then Durmukha Marshini. Durmukha literally means whose mouth is foul-mouthed. He is continuously abusive. So, or it could mean he is ugly-faced or he is abusive. The obvious meaning here is he would be abusive, he would be using bad language. Marshini, Marshanam means to forgive. What is she teaching us here? She is saying that if something cannot be, if you have to be partial to that which is good. Do not hesitate in saying, oh, these two are both equal to me, so therefore I should not be I should be impartial. But one of them is not doing the right things, you have to punish. One of them is doing the right things, you have to you have to give your best to that person. Suravara Varshini. Then she is saying Durdhara Dharshini, that which cannot be held. What is it that cannot be held? What is it that cannot be held? इस चीज को पकड़ा नहीं जाता है. Our mind is very difficult to capture. Durdharadharshini, she has captured it, right? So she has taught us that your mind needs to be captured. Durdharadharshini. Durmukha Marshini. Sorry. If somebody is foul-mouthed to you, if somebody is abusive to you, Marshanam. She is Durmukha Marshini. So I will do Marshanam. So therefore I will forgive you. And forgive does not mean, oh, okay, I don't care about it, but 15 years ago you gave me one abuse. That means you are still carrying that abuse in your head. So therefore, if you are forgiving, people say, I forgive, but I will never forget. Then what is the meaning of forgive? What is the meaning of forgive? So you have to give it up completely. That is what she is saying here. Right? Durmukha Marshini. Harsharate, ever joyous. Be ever joyous. I am joy. Experience me. And therefore be joy always. So that is what she is saying in the first line. Beautiful line, isn't it? Suravaravarshini durdharadharshini durmukha marshini harsharate tribhuvana poshini. Feeding the entire world. Tribhuvana, bhur, bhuva, swaha. Three layers of existence. Tribhuvana poshini. Poshanam means to feed. So to nourish, to foster. So Tribhuvana poshini, three, we know three. Tribhuvana poshini, Shankara toshini. She satisfied Lord Shiva. Shankara toshanam. Toshanam, santosha. You have heard the word santosha. So from there, toshanam, to be satisfied. Sam toshanam, samyak toshanam, fully satisfied. So that is why santosha is fully satisfied. Toshanam means to be satisfying. So who does she satisfy? Shankara. So, and who is Shankara? Shamkaroti iti Shankara. Therefore, the person who gives peace. So she satisfies the person who is giving peace means, very interesting. To be dissatisfied means he is not peaceful. See, if you are dissatisfied, you cannot say I am dissatisfied and I am very peaceful. So she gives peace to him. So she makes him satisfied. That is why he is Shankara. His name itself comes because she is there with him. When she was not there with him, he became Rudra, jumping all over the world and trying to destroy it. Right? That's how we men are when our wives run away from us. So that is what she is telling us, that look, be happily married. Even if your wife is sometimes Bhadrakali, sometimes Durga, sometimes Lakshmi, tolerate her, because only when she is there, you are Shankar. Otherwise, you are jumping around doing Tandav. So basically, be Shanti se baitho. So, Shankara Toshini, Kilbisha Moshini. Kilbisha, faults, offenses, sins, all these are called Kilbisha. Moshanam means to carry away. So she carries away our sins. The moment we approach her, by her glow, by her prabha, we automatically become prabhavit, and therefore whatever is negative in us gets washed out. Kilbisha Moshini, Ghosharate, and when she destroys the demons, she cries out in joy. There is no harm in exulting in our victory over our mind. So we delight upon Rata, to be enjoying, to be devoted to be delighting in. Kamadev's wife is called Rati, she who gives enjoyment. So Ghosha is to be a battle cry, it is a shout. So Ghosha Rate. Then next word, Danujani Roshini. Danu is a daughter of Daksha, and one of the daughter of Daksha, she married Kashyapa Muni. After she married Kashyapa Muni, so Kashyapa Muni at that point of time had three wives, Diti, Danu, and Aditi. Aditi, non-dual. She had no duality in her. And therefore, what she gave birth to is called the 12 Adityas. 12 Adityas, these were the Devas. The Danu gave birth to Danavas. Now, whenever we have discussion about any particular behavior of a particular child, I normally say this: which parent has been giving more time. Look at the character of that person, and that person is the mother, right? When I say mother, I am not saying the female part of the couple. The person who has given more time, the person who has nourished, that is the person who is to blame or take praise. So Kashyap Muni बेचारा आदमी क्या करता है, वो he plants his seed and then he goes and sits under a tree and catches hold of some brahmacharis and teaches. He has no time to bring up the children. Who is going to bring up the children? The children are being brought up by Danu. What is Danu? Danu has a very huge amount of jealousy. So she creates Danavas. The famous one of them is one called May Danav. Danav is an architect, very famous architect. So these are part of the Asura clan, right? Asura is a combination of all these Daityas and Danavas. Similarly, the other wife, her name was Diti. So Diti does what? So Diti Sutta Roshini. So Rosha means to have anger, to be angry with. Who angry on whom? Diti Sutta. Diti Sutta means sons of children of Diti. Diti's sons are called Daityas. Daityas. So the Daityas, the famous Daityas are Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, their son Prahlad, their son Virochana, their son Maharaja Bali. So Bali Raja we know now. Onam is celebrated. Kerala mein he is supposed to come back every year in September, because of which Kerala celebrates Onam. So Bali Raja and Vaman Avatar, we know the story. So all these are Daityas. Ye Daitya ki family hai. And then there is the Danava family. She is the one who has controlled both of them. So Danujani Roshini, Diti Sutta Roshini. Then Durmada Shoshini. Durmada, mother means arrogance. Durmada, foolish pride. Foolish pride. So foolish pride, Shoshini, dries up. She dries up. Shoshanam, to dry up, to remove, to destroy, but mostly drying up. So Durmada Shoshini. Sindhu Sute. Sindhu Sute, Sindhu means the sea. Sute means daughter of. Sindhu Sute, why is she called the daughter of the sea? Because in the form of Lakshmi, she arose from the sea. When they did Samudra Manthan, then Dhanvantari came. But just after Dhanvantari, she came. Everybody forgot Dhanvantari for a minute. And they started all looking at her and saying, oh, who has come? They all rushed to her saying, marry me, marry me, marry me. She went only to that person who said, I'm waiting very nicely. I'm not going to rush after you because I'm here doing my duty. She comes to that person who does his duty without hankering for her. Vishnu is a representation of doing his duty again and again and again. 10 avatars, 21 avatars, hundreds of avatars. Poor chap, every time we make mistakes, he comes down, he has to do all the work. And he doesn't complain about it. He says, that's my duty. So he keeps on doing that. So Lakshmi goes to him. You run after Lakshmi, Lakshmi will run away from you. You do your duty, Lakshmi will come to you. That is the story here. Right? So Sindhu Sute. Then third line. No, sorry, we did the third line. Suravaravarshini Durdharadharshini Durmukhamarshini Harsharate Tribhuvana Poshini Shankaratoshini Kilvishamoshini Ghosharate Danujani Roshini Ditisuta Roshini Durmada Soshini Sindhu Sute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasuravardini Kramyakapartini Shaila Sute. So that's for today. Sorry,
could you please tell again?
Sorry, which one?
Third line. Danuja Niroshini. Danu I understood. Mother of Danavas. But Niroshini.
Not Niroshini.
Danuja Niroshini.
Danujani plural. Roshanam. Roshanam means to be able to be angry with, to have furious, to have fear, to have passion or fury. So Roshanam. So she is angry on people. Yes. So she is angry on Dhanujana.
No, I got mixed up, confused because the Niroshini.
Okay. So okay. Dhanu, Jana, Niha, Roshanam. Now, what is the typical behavior of Dhanujana? Anger. Right? The typical behavior of a Daitya or a typical behavior of a Dhanava is to display one of the negative emotions, which is anger. Niroshanam, removal of anger. Dhanujana, she removes the anger from them. So she changes their character. They are no longer Dhanavas because their essential character, which is anger, has got removed. Diti Suta Roshini. Right? And she is angry on the Daityas. So okay, so there is a slight difference here. Why is that slight difference? Very good that you pointed this out. Dhanavas are intermediate. Okay, they are not exactly at the lower stage. The Daityas are the ones who caused a lot of problems. Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, and so on and so forth. They also produce the best of the bhaktas. My role model is Prahlad. I cannot talk about him without shedding tears. So that is the Prahlad is my role model. So now that he is also a Daitya, but he is the best of bhaktas. But that she was angry on those Daityas, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. So she is angry. On the others, the Dhanavas, they also have a lot of positive energy to give. Maya Danav is an architect of par excellence. The Sabha of Yudhishthira was created by Maya Danav. So that is, therefore, she removes their anger. She changes their character.
Thank you.
Any other
paragraph? What about the first paragraph? Aigiri Nandini Nandita Medini.
We have done that, no, last time?
We only chanted it.
No, I did the meanings also.
Huh? How did I miss it?
We did the meanings. If
we will go back to the video.
Record, go back to the recording. Yes. If you don't find it, then we are all
okay.
Because I remember definitely, because there was a discussion also whether it is Nandanute, Nandinute. What does that word Nute mean? And we had the discussion. So I definitely remember we did that. Right. Let us end the class. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Sir.